Okay, so continuing on with our lovely heart opening practice, really building that sense of energy, moving in and out of the heart and creating just a little bit more connection into this space, like what is actually here, what sits in this space. Such a powerful portal of energy, and it really allows us to move from a space that's connected with the world, but also connected internally. It's a really, really powerful space of our body. And when we really connect in with this space, we can use its potency, use its magnetism, its frequency to really do big things in our lives, whether that's calling things to us or pushing energy out into the world. And we should really start to honor how much potency this space has in our body, because it's really underrated. We often go to the mind for a lot of our processing, our decision making, but when we can come from the heart, always, it's much more divinely guided. It's the space that connects us most deeply in with our soul, and it's always coming from a space of compassion and from trust and our highest guidance. So the more we can build this connection into this space, the more we can move from that way of being, and that resonance. So again, just a couple of props that you might want. If you have some cushions, you can use those, or if you have blocks like this or like this one, you can use those. Just have a couple to hand, maybe two or three, and then if you have a long pillow or a bolster, grab that too. And then we'll just start with a seated position, just taking a few moments to really drop into the heart space. So if it feels more comfortable to sit on your shins or cross-legged, just find a nice position that you can really rest into. And then finding your seat, really ground down into your sit bones and just moving any flesh out of the way so that you really do feel the support and connection into those bones. Allow all of the muscles around your seat, around the thighs, around the pelvic floor to really relax and soften. So you feel there's no clenching, no tension in that connection to our grounding. And as you feel those muscles melting and relaxing, allow your spine to really lengthen up out of that groundedness, out of that support. So you feel each of the vertebrae lengthening up into the crown of your head. And taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, bring your shoulders up to your ears, and as you exhale, roll the shoulders all the way back and down. Just feel the shoulder blades gently glide down the back of the body and feel the heart space really open. Just finding a moment to connect into that space of the heart and really drawing your attention down. So you can start to close the eyes if they're not already. And take a few breaths into this space in the center of your chest. If it feels nice to take a deep breath in and a deep sigh out or a huff out, just letting go of any tension, any tightness, anything going on in the heart space today. And taking this moment to really feel into what is sat here in the heart space. Notice any words that arise, any emotions, any physical sensation, anything that feels different, anything that is very regular that you feel in this space. You're building up a connection and an image of what's going on internally, allowing the external world to quieten down, to dim down. Just keep breathing and feeling into this space, just acknowledging what's sat here, and using the breath to really allow you to connect more deeply, to release any tension that might be there, and to feel that deep connection as you breathe. Feeling safety in this area of your body, safety in the feeling, safety in being in this space. And really safe to allow yourself to reside here. So just take the breath a little bit more consciously. So as you inhale next round, feel the body respond to the breath as a lifting up and out. So the heart space is gently opening and widening, all the musculature, the bones, the tissues, and as you exhale, feel the heart sinking back towards the spine. So it's a hollowing out of the chest. And you feel all of the muscles contracting back in. And then again, allowing the breath to open the front of the chest, maybe even feeling the shoulder blades squeeze a little bit closer together. And just notice in that expansion and contraction, if there's any points of resistance. Feel into the space in the rib cage, all of the muscles, all of the skin, the tissues, even the bones. Feel into the space around the armpit, the sides of the chest, collarbone area, the middle of the heart, the back body. Notice how it feels in the back of your heart, and the bottoms of the shoulders, and even into the tops of the shoulders. Notice as you breathe around this area, if anything holds, anything restricts, if there's any discomfort or pain. So our inhalation is all about taking life in, really allowing ourselves to take more life in, to feel more life, and to really build our energy, to build our prana, build our vitality. And on each exhalation, we're allowing ourselves to move towards that space of death, that space of surrender, of real letting go, of not needing to control, but trusting in that dropping back, that softening. So just notice if you can create a little bit more opening and contraction. So just elongating the breath slightly, seeing if there's anywhere that you can move more deeply into, all around this heart space, front, back, sides, top, bottom, internally, externally. Keep dropping your attention into feeling, into sensation. And allow the breath to move you. So the body is very soft. It's being moved, it's being breathed. There's no need for you to really force anything, but just to allow the breath in and out. And watch what it does as it moves through you. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. Let's just take a final round of breath. And then slowly start to come back into a very effortless, natural breath. And gently blink, open your eyes. Allow yourself to come back into the external. And we'll move into our first shape. So we've just moved a little bit of energy around the heart and our breath connection into that space. But we want to now just allow the props to open the body a little bit more. So either take a pillow or a block underneath your head. And then you can take another pillow or block underneath the back of your heart. So ideally you want to have the pillow for your head and then a nice big space for your arms and your shoulders to move into. So you want the other block around this kind of height or a little bit lower if that feels more comfortable, but in the back body. So if it's good for you to go widthways, that's a little bit more soft, but it may feel more comfortable for you to turn the block that way. So just have a play around and see what feels most comfortable. You don't want to be in any real discomfort. And if you need to, you can always take the block up or the pillow up a little bit higher for your head takes a little bit of more support out. And then for underneath your knees, you want that long pillow or bolster. So just prop yourself up, and if you have anything to cover your eyes, you may want to take a light cloth over your eyes. We'll be here for a little while. And try to get the block as much as you can beneath the heart. So you're really feeling the whole rib cage is lifted. It's around the bra strap area, just literally behind the back of the chest, if that feels okay. And then you can take your arms out nice and wide. Modify as much as you need so that you feel supported, you feel comfortable, you don't feel that you're in any tension or you're holding at all. You want to really let your body just drop over the support. Again, if it feels more comfortable and restful for you to have your legs in butterfly, you can take the soles of the feet together, knees wide, or you can take the legs knees bent, feet flat to the mat, just finding whatever gives you the most support. So we're here for around 6 minutes or so. So just really allow yourself to come back into yourself, back into your body, allowing the external world to gently dim down again. Come back to the flow of your breath. So now as we have that pressure in the back of the heart, and it's really allowing the body to be propped up, to be lifted. So we're in that expansiveness, we're in that space of being really, really wide open. And it forces us to bring more attention into the heart, but also into the aspect of being seen, of being able to take in life, really opening into our fullest expression. Quite often we find that opening our hearts is quite a strong thing when we're in relationships, when we're meeting new people, when we're in different situations, when we're having conversations. To really open the heart and to speak and live and operate from and feel from the heart is sometimes quite overwhelming. Just allow your breath to be very, very soft and gentle. There's no need to force the breath at all. There's no need to rush the breath. Just allowing the breath to gently open you more and more. So you may feel cracks opening in the body, clicks. You may feel muscles softening and relaxing tension. Really allow that to happen on your exhalation. So you're just dropping more and more, surrendering with each exhale into your expansiveness, into the connection of your heart space. Allow yourself to really rest the next 5 minutes or so. Take just a few more rounds of breath here. Really see if you can fill up with more breath. Really allow the breath out to feel slower, longer. Allowing yourself to really surrender for the last couple of breaths. Okay, so to come off, you can either just roll off to a side and just pause on your side, or you can bring your arms just beside you, hold onto the mat or push into the forearms, the hands, tuck chin to chest, and then as you exhale, slowly lift yourself up. You want to move all of the props out to the side and then move straight back down to the mat so you can lay down and really feel into all of that space you just opened. So take your time to come back down to a rested position, maybe feet on the floor, knees bent might feel more comfortable for your lower back. And just take a moment to really feel into all that space around the diaphragm, around the center of the chest, into the rib cage, and keep breathing into that space you've opened. Just counter in the back bend, gently draw your knees into your chest. You can hold around the backs of the thighs or around the shins. Just give yourself a nice big squeeze and a hug. Try to relax the shoulders. If it feels nice to take a little rock side to side, please feel free to. Nice, and then just roll off to a side and bring yourself up to a seated position. So we're moving into a widening child's pose from here, but adding a little twist in. So you may want to use a cushion or some blocks underneath your head, just to give a little bit of height to support your neck. And take your knees as wide as feels comfortable and take the toes together. If it feels more restful to bring yourself onto a bolster or a cushion, please sit up onto that. And then we're twisting to the right to begin with. So just take a nice long spine, bring your hands down to the mat. Take your right hand a little bit further forward, and then we're going to thread the left arm through that space underneath. So take that left hand through, thread it all the way through to the other side, and then you may need to bring the block or cushion underneath your head. Try to really roll through the upper back so you feel nice and wide through the back of the heart, and that left arm is threading through all the way as much as it can. You can keep your right hand placed to the floor, or if it feels more comfortable, you can bring your right hand round to your lower back or to the top of the left thigh. That's going to give you a little bit of a deeper twist. Just here for around 3 minutes each side. So just take any final adjustments, fidgets, propping that you might need. Maybe you need to pad up the knees, behind the back of the knee. And then really let yourself come into stillness. So as you surrender into the shape, you can feel all of the tissue around the heart space gently opening and easing open as you breathe. Let the breath take you deeper into the shape. Try to release any clenching of the muscles and let your body drop into its support. We're just coming through our last minute here. If you can allow yourself to just shift a bit deeper into the posture, please feel free to. Otherwise, you may need to come out a little bit. Just here for the last moment. So if you took the bind, the right hand behind the back, just gently bring your right hand to the floor, and with an inhalation, gently guide yourself back up, and you can come to sit back onto the heels. Just take a moment in between to let the body reset. It's okay to sit back onto the heels, otherwise you can come to an all fours position. Take a moment to really feel down that left side of your body. Left side of your back, your heart, into the rib cage, the left side of the chest. So we'll go to the opposite side. If you are struggling a little bit with the legs, you can always let your legs just extend straight back, and then I'll just show you. So you can lay down onto your belly and then take the left knee up and thread the right arm through. So you're working still with the twist, but it's much more gentle. Otherwise, you can take the same to the opposite side. So left hand comes slightly further forward towards the top of the mat. Stretch your right arm all the way through. Thread that as far as feels comfortable. Maybe bring a pillow underneath the head if that feels more supportive for your neck. And then left hand can either stay to the floor, or you can find your lower back or the top of the right thigh. And then let your breath do the work. Let gravity do the work. So you're just breathing, you're just surrendering. And you're allowing yourself to really drop into what this shape is offering your body. Keep your focus, your attention all the way around your heart. 360 around your heart. Wherever our attention goes, the energy will flow to. But the more we can really bring our focus back into the heart each time we breathe, at any time the mind wanders, just gently bring it back. The more we're illuminating this space, we're bringing more energy, more prana, more chi flow into the space all the way around the heart. We're just here for another minute. You can move a little bit more into your edge of the stretch. Allow yourself to just gently ease more into it. See if there's anywhere that you can open more fully into stretch and really go to your edge. And if you need to come out, always allowing yourself to come out of the shape. Take a final round of breath. And then with your next inhalation, bring your left hand down in front of the face, push into that hand and slowly lift yourself back up to a seated position. You can bring your knees in towards one another and just sit back onto your heels or come to an all fours position if that's more comfortable for your legs. And just find the center again. So after a twist, we're really noticing what's happening on both sides. So just dropping your attention into the right side body. Okay, so we'll move into more of a forward folded position now, coming into a child's pose position. So you can take the legs together and work slightly more strongly with the knees, the toes are together, and you're literally just resting your belly down. Find a nice long spine. You can rest your forehead to the floor or a block. And it might feel quite restful to just bring your hands back. If that feels a little bit uncomfortable, you can use some props. So you might want to take a bolster, maybe bring it on top of a block. And it might feel nice to just place your head to one side and hands and forearms to the floor. And if it's a little bit strong on anybody's knees, or you just don't want to practice in that way today, you can also come onto your back. So if you have a blanket, you can bring the blanket across your shins and just hold onto the blanket. So you're pulling down the shins, or you can hold around the back of the knee. Or if it feels okay for you to interlace, you can always work with an interlaced hand around the shin. So just find whichever variation is sitting best with you today. I'm going to be here for around 5 minutes, so make sure that you are comfortable and rested. I'll let you know when we're halfway through. If you turn your head to one side, then you can gently turn your head to the other. I'll let you know. So as we compress more the front of the body, and we're working into these child's pose positions, we're allowing more breath to move into the upper lobes of the lungs. So just below the collarbone area, around the armpit, the sides of the body to the rib cage. And if you have an open back, if you're not with the back against the floor, but also push in all of the air, the chi flow into the back of the lung. So really utilize a deep belly breath still, so that you're encouraging the breath to flood as much as it can into the body. There's no restriction in the amount of breath, prana, that you're bringing in. But where the belly is now compressed, we're just allowing the breath to move into those spaces that are still open. Maybe spaces and areas in the body that you don't naturally breathe into or feel the breath move through. So coming through halfway now, if you turned your head to one side, just allowing your head to turn to the opposite direction. Otherwise, just staying here for the next 2.5 minutes. If you need to make any modifications or come out, always allow yourself to. Just seeing if you can move into the final moments. Nice, so just take a final round of breath here. And then if you're on your back, just allow your feet to come to the floor, knees bent. And if you're in child's pose, just slowly bring yourself back up to a lifted position. You can come to sit back into all fours or sit back to your heels. If it feels good to lay down on your back, you can do that too. Just take a moment here to let the body rebound and really feel the breath coming back into the front of the body, and maybe more full breath moving through your body. Nice. So from here, bringing yourself down into the floor, belly down, and you want to bring either your block or a pillow to the top of your mat. So we're just working a little bit more into a back bending position. So bringing your body down to the mat. Take a nice stretch back through your legs so you feel your hips are grounded, but the legs are nice and long. And you want space to the sides of your mat. So the first position we'll work through is Sphinx. Just a little bit of time here to really allow the chest to open. So take the elbows just ahead of you, and you can take the hands interlace or the palms flat. And I want to just start to pull the chest through so you're feeling length into the crown of your head. We're not here for too long, just about a minute or so. So just taking your time to settle in. If it needs a little bit more space, just take the elbows further away from the body. And if you want to increase the stretch, just bringing your elbows slightly closer in. Try to keep the back of the neck nice and long and the heart space gently opening forward. You can close down through the eyes and start to feel that movement of the breath expanding and contracting once again. Just a final breath here. So from here, take your right elbow slightly further forward, and then in that space underneath, you're going to take your left arm. Keep the block a little bit closer towards your body or your pillow, and then you can thread your right arm across. So it's a little bit uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but if you can either bring your chin to your arm, or if you have the space, you can rest your forehead down onto the block. If you have a block that's slightly higher, it might feel a bit more comfortable to rest your head onto, might give you a little bit more space. And if you're finding that's really uncomfortable to get the body into, take a cushion underneath your hips. So you're resting your hips down, and then you can thread your left arm under, your right arm over the top, and then take the block underneath your forehead that way. You take the arms further away from the body, You can also work with the cross about in line with your chin and your forehead. Your forehead resting down. You're still going to get the opening in your back, but it's not as intense of a stretch down the tricep. So we're here for just about a minute and a half each side. So find whichever position feels most restful and allow yourself to just gently soften into that space. So we're really constricting the front of the heart, but breathe into the expanse around the back of your heart, the sides of your heart. Take up all of that space, that lung capacity you have there. Just last 30 seconds here. Finally, take your head a little bit more lifted. Start to bring your right arm back, and then you can slide your left arm out. Come back into Sphinx for a moment. Take your left elbow further forward, and then you can thread the right arm underneath. Take the left arm over the top, nice tight squeeze in. Maybe you need to prop up into position, allow yourself to feel supported, and just rest back down. Last minute and a half. A few breaths in. And then slowly lift your head up. Slide the left arm back, right arm back. Gently bring your hands beside your chest. Your inhalation, slowly push up into all fours. And just take a moment here in all fours. If it feels nice to take any movements, maybe some walks through the shoulders, some cat-cows, child's pose, downward facing dog, any movements or pauses that feel good. Just allow yourself to rebound here for the last minute or so. And from here, moving into Shavasana. So taking any props that you might need, maybe a block or a blanket, pillow for the back of your head. Taking a bolster or cushion for the back of your knees. Blanket over the body, maybe turn the light off, or bring a little eye mask or light cloth over your eyes. And just gently hug your knees in when you get down. Just give yourself a little counter pose for the back bend. Breathe deep into your belly. And then come to lay down to rest. Take up a nice wide space for your arms, for your legs. Turn your palms up to face the ceiling to open your chest. And feel your shoulder blades are really wide behind you. They're gliding down the back and your heart space feels nice and open. You can let your feet just gently roll out the breast, the thighs, the groin, the hips, the glutes. The lower back feels nice and rested. Allow your breath to come back to a very effortless rhythm of each inhalation. Feel energy that surrounds the body. Waves of intelligence, healing, vibration. Gently be pulled in through every layer and part of the skin. And the inhalation all the way down into the spine. So the spine is filling up with this energy, this healing, this power, vitality. And each exhalation, push that energy out from the spine to every single cell internally. So you're flooding your interior with this healing, vibrancy, vitality, this intelligence, all the prana from the external, drawing in through the skin as you inhale, filling into the spine. As you exhale, prana moves from the spine to every single cell and atom of your entire being, and the internal, flooding your body with healing, vibrancy, power, intelligence. Let's go on breathing in that way. Allow yourself to really rest with the focus of the breath. And really feel into the lightness, the vibrancy, the healing power of the breath and the internal of the body. Whole internal world lit up, vibrant, grounded, and full of life, full of energy, full of prana. Just rest here in that vibrancy, sense of vitality and nourishment. Slowly bring your awareness back to your breath and back to your body, back to the space. A moment to breathe more deeply, more fully into your body. And then bring some energy back into your body, just wiggling your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles, and turning your head side to side. And taking any intuitive stretches that feel really good for you. You can hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze and a hug. Roll off to a side and pause on your side for a moment. And then very slowly bring yourself back up to a seated position. Just finding again a comfortable seat and allowing your sit bones to connect into that sense of groundedness and earth. And from that space of calm, grounded connection, allow your spine to really lift and lengthen up, really open into all that space you've just created. Gently bring your hands into the heart, resting your hands in a prayer position. And exhale the breath fully. With your inhale, take your arms nice and wide, stretching them out to the side and a little bit up so the hands are in line with your head. Really take in a deep breath. And then as you exhale, bring your hands all the way back together to prayer at the heart. And just move in with your breath as you inhale, expand, reach out, open up, take in life. And as you exhale, pull all of that life, that energy back down into the center of your heart. Inhale to expand, open, feel a lightness, a sense of vitality, healing, nourishment. As you expand, slowly contract back, pull all of that back into the center of your being. Feel a softness. Inhale to open, just a few more. Expand. And exhale to soften. Just taking 3 more through in your own time. Feel this movement coming right from your heart space. Moving in tune, in rhythm with the expansion, the contraction of your breath. You not separate from the waves of energy, prana, life force surrounding your body, but you merely moving in tune, in rhythm with all that is surrounding you. Feeling yourself merging with the prana, the life force, the energy surrounding you always. And the next time you bring your hands back into prayer at the heart, just feeling all of that energy recalled back into you, back into the center of your being. Feeling your own life force, energy, your own pranic field of awareness. Really honoring all that you are, all that you do in this life, all that you have done and all that you will do. Offering gratitude for our prana, for our life force, for our vitality, our health. And really allowing ourselves to take in more life, to feel more life, to give, to receive more life. And to move in tune with the expansions and contractions that life offers. Knowing that there is no good or bad. It's just always flow, always change, always expansion and contraction. So lovely to practice with you all. Thank you so much for coming. Namaste.